Welcome back to my channel, My Love Tights. This is Tyquan Love here. Make sure you like, comment, share, subscribe, and we're on to part 2 of my COVID experience because I did catch the rona. So where we left off before was pretty much the symptoms and take the medicine that my mother had bought me that I had got for myself. And I did actually borrow a couple of Motrin pills because I definitely needed to get rid of that migraine or that headache or whatever it was. I did end up ordering some Excedrin. You know, they're pretty good for that. Very strong. I think they have caffeine in it or something like that. I'm not sure. I just know they're good for migraines. So after that, I got the results back. It came back positive, as I knew that it probably would. And then I proceeded to quarantine for the entire 14 days. The only time I went out of my house was to take my trash out, was to maybe get some fresh air, and to ride my bicycle. And that was pretty much it. I had come in contact with no one from that point on forward. Not a mailman, not a bystander, not anybody. I rode my bike in peace with my helmet around my neighborhood, and this is a pretty suburban neighborhood where I live, so it wasn't as if anyone was like, I'm not in the city, I'm not like in the heart of Manhattan, so it's not like I was gonna run into a lot of people while I was, or anybody really for that matter, while I'm riding my bike. So what I did was I took advantage of all the food that I had ordered online through Amazon Fresh / Whole Foods, and I, took advantage of that. I ate, I drank, I made sure that I was healthy and, had energy, and I took off work for about a week. All of my jobs, even this one, YouTube. So I took off work for that and, to recover and to get myself better and quarantine myself and just, get myself back to, oh, and one thing I forgot to mention, during the time, I was actually fatigued a lot. And when I say fatigued, like always tired, like I would stay up until 3 or 4 in the morning and I would get up at like maybe 2 or 3 in the afternoon. So I was sleeping for at least 10 hours a day. And of course you need your rest when you're trying to get better. So it was okay. It was the way that it had to be. So I got better and I tested again. So protocol for, I'm not sure if it's CDC, WHO, federal government, or the New York State Department of Health, but you're supposed to have 2 negative tests after your positive test for COVID. I did the nasal swab, and as you probably heard, the nasal swab is very uncomfortable. They stick this long thing in your nose, and I'll show you a little clip.
Start by inserting the swab horizontally into the left or right nostril. Carefully advance the swab while maintaining a course that is close to both the septum and the floor of the nose, parallel to the palate. Do not advance the swab upwards, but instead straight back until resistance is felt as the swab reaches the posterior nasopharynx. When collecting samples from an adult patient, this corresponds to a travel distance of approximately 5 to 6 centimeters or 2 inches.
But they put this thing like way up here in your nose and then they wiggle it around. Most of the doctors use one nostril, but one doctor that I had test me used both my nostrils. Dug it here, and was done. And literally, once I'm finished, you can see like your tears coming down your face a little bit while you're taking that test. Wow. And it is absolutely uncomfortable, like really. So I didn't want to get the test 4 times, but I did. I got it one time and it was negative, which was late June, before I was around people, to make sure they're safe. And I also took it the week after when I tested positive, and then once I felt like I had recovered, I took it a third time. which is the first time after I was positive, that came back negative. And then recently, like yesterday, this is like July 29th, the test came back negative again for the second time. So I'm clear, praises. Now, what the doctors will tell you if you decide to look this up or you actually encounter COVID, they'll tell you, oh, as long as you don't have any symptoms for 72 hours after you've had your symptoms and you've tested positive, then you should be good to stop quarantining, because the state mandates 14 days. So if I started quarantining on July 8th after I got my results back, then July 22nd I should be good. But they started from the day that I got tested, which is July 2nd, and I quarantined until July 16th. So I still ended up quarantining a little bit longer than that because I wanted to make sure. It was really like a lot because I'm used to going out and enjoying, driving around or just, doing extracurricular activities, seeing friends or what have you. So it was a struggle, for me to do that, the quarantine. I also want to emphasize that once you decide to take the doctor's orders and not quarantine anymore, even if you haven't tested negative both times, make sure that you wear a mask, because anywhere you go it's going to be required. In the public, in the stores, in the malls, in wherever you go, it's going to be required, especially where I live at in New York. So yeah, it was definitely an experience. I was a little bit afraid, as I do have some underlying conditions like bronchitis and allergies. So those things kind of mess with my mind a little bit as far as me recovering, because I felt like, oh my gosh, is my immune system going to be able to take this? Are my lungs going to be able to take this? Are my allergies going to be able to take this? So I continued to take my regular allergy medication. It kept me from having like the wheezing or the coughing or the sneezing. So I didn't really have a lot of those symptoms, thankfully. Stay safe, stay prayed up, and until next time, I do appreciate you all for watching. I had a different experience than some people who were hospitalized, and I pray for the families who have lost, loved ones during this time. The country, the U.S., is at 150,000 deaths as of now, over time plus, more than that, and it just keeps rising. We don't have this disease under control. I appreciate you watching. Like, comment, subscribe, and please share the video. I know it'll help someone else. And until next time, thank you so much for watching. See you later, Love Tight.
Thank you for your services.